From inside this page, the very first thing that we want to do is we want to read this ID and this token. So for that, let's come inside our verify.js, and here I'm going to remove our alert, and what I will do, I'll add this window listener. So window.add event listener, and we want to add this event listener called DOM content loaded. Means whenever our page is going to be ready, we want to fire this callback. So this is going to be our callback, and here we are going to use this new proxy. So this is the JavaScript object that we already have, and what this proxy will do, this will create this proxy object and all these things. Now if you want to learn more about these things, you can go inside the MDN documentation, but the main thing that we want to do with this proxy object is that we want to first use this new URL search params, and inside here we can simply pass our window dot location. So this location object will have all the information about this part, this URL, and from inside here we want to grab the part after this question mark. So this is going to be our search query, so we want to go to the search. Okay, so this is going to give us the window location search, and we have this proxy method. So what we can do, we can write this get function or the getter function right here. So we can have this get method, and from here what this is going to do, this is going to go to this URL search params, and it is going to grab the thing that we want. For example, let's have this search params, and this is going to be prop. So what you can do now is you can simply use the search params dot get method, and here you can pass your prop, and if we hover over on this is going to give us the string, or this is going to give us null. Okay, so let's see what it will give us. So let's just simply return this search params.get method, and I'm going to call it params, and let's just come down, let's just log this params to the console like this, and if we come inside our application, let's open our console window with F12, and I'm going to reload this page, and now here you can see we have this proxy URL search params with these two items in it. So what we can do now, because we are using this proxy constructor, what we can do, we can use, let me come inside this add event listener function or the callback. So here we have this params dot token, okay, and there is going to be params dot id, and this is going to be our id, and this is going to be our token. So if we just log this id, and also let's log this token, let's save it, and if we come inside our application and let's reload this page, we'll have the ID and the token as you can see. So if you're using React or something like that, there will be React Router DOM, and there will be different hooks that you can use to read the same exact data. But because we are using plain JavaScript, we have to write all these code to grab our search queries. Now what you can do, you can simply send your ID and the token to your verify endpoint that we built earlier. So we are going to use the fetch method here. So this is the fetch API that we are going to use, and also let's wrap this function inside this async keyword. Now we want to go to this auth/verify, and here we need to define the things like method type. Method type is going to be post, right? Because we want to send the token and the ID inside our request.body, and here we need to define the body as well, and body needs to be a string. So here we cannot just pass this token and ID, we also need to stringify these values. So we are going to use this json.stringify, and if you're using Axios or something like that, you don't have to stringify the value, but because we are using fetch API, we have to do this. And also after this we have to define the headers, and here we have to define the content type. So here I'm going to define this content dash type, and this is going to be JSON data. So here we are going to use this application/JSON char set equal to UTF-8. So we have to send all these things, and after that our application will be able to read the data from inside our request.body. And again, if we are going to use Axios, we don't need to provide all these things. Okay, now this fetch method is going to give us the response, and here we can simply check for the response, and if this is okay response or not. If this is not okay response, let's add this not operator right here. If this is not the case, then we want to grab the error which we will have inside our response.json. So we have to await again for this JSON response, and here we will get the error, or in our case this is going to be message. And why this is going to be message, if we come inside our error handling code, let's come inside our index.ts. So here what we are doing, we are sending message for our errors, right? Also, if we come inside our utils helper.ts, this is the send error method. If we have any problem, we are going to send the message as the error message. So that is going to come right here. And what we can do, we can simply render this error inside our HTML. So we already have this verify.html. What we can do, we can grab this paragraph tag, and instead of rendering this message here, we can render our error. So let's just come here, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to first of all grab this thing. So this is going to be message, or you can call it message tag, and we can use this document.get element by id, and we already have this id called message, right? So this is the message, and we can come down and we can use this message tag dot inner text. So we want to change the inner text, and this is going to be message that is coming from our error. And also we have this class name called error. If you come inside the CSS, let's come down. So this is going to be our error class. What we can do, we can simply add that class right here, message tag dot class list dot add, and we are going to add this new class called error, and we just want to return right here. We don't want to move further. Otherwise, we are simply going to await for this response one more time, and this time we will have what? So let's come inside our auth controller, and this is our verify email method. If we come down, we are going to send this message again. So let's come here. So again, here we will get the message. By the way, here you will get the response object, and from inside that object, we are simply destructuring the thing that we want, and that is going to be message. Okay. And we can have our message tag dot inner text equal to message. So what we did here, first of all, we are going to attach this event listener called DOM content loaded. Whenever our DOM is going to be ready, this callback function will fire, and we will use all these logics to read our token and the ID from inside that URL. And after that, here we are going to use this fetch method to send our post request to this endpoint, and we are going to send our token and the ID. And if everything goes well, this code will run. It will just render this message. But if there is any error, this block of code will run this if condition, and this error message will be displayed. And if you are still confused for this part of code, let me just add these little comments here. First of all, here what we are doing, we are using this URL search params, right? And here we are simply passing our window.location.search. And if we do this, what it will do right here, if we have this kind of a URL like example.com, and here we have this question mark, right? And this is the part that we want to read. This is the query that we want to read, right? So it will give us this part, okay? And also from inside this part, we want to grab different items. So for that, here we created this proxy from this constructor. And because this proxy will allow us to use this get method, so we can have the getter function right here. And inside here, we'll have our search params, which are going to be all these things. And here we have this prop. And what we are doing, we just have this search params.get method, and here we have passed this prop. So it is just like that. We want to have the search params. Let me just use it like this. We just want to have the search params get. In short, it is just like that. We created a method. We created this proxy right here with this getter function, where now what you can do, you can pass your search params.get, and here what you want to have. You want to have your token, okay? You will have your ID, or in this example, we will have the param1 or param2, right? So what you can do now is, if you just have all these things, or if you just pass your prop inside your search params.get method, now we can simply have this token and ID like these dot notations. So it's simple as that. Now let's just test our application. Now I'm going to open this terminal. Let's just reload our application. Thanks for joining us. Your email is verified. Now you can come inside our database and let's come inside our smart cycle, not React cycle. And here we are going to have that verified true, as you can see, for this email. Now let's just try to refresh this page, and this should show us this token is invalid, because whenever we are going to verify our users, we are going to remove our auth verification token as well. So let's just reload this page. Unauthorized request 403 forbidden. And that's exactly what we wanted. Now if you want to test one more time, you can create another account with this new email. Let's send this request, and this is sending the request. Let's come inside our inbox, and this is our new message. Let's come inside our database. If you refresh this, here we will have new verification token, and also you will have new user with verified false. As you can see, this is the email that we used. And now if I click on this link, okay, this should be changed. Okay, this should be changed. Let's come inside this auth.ts, and inside our create new user, we need to change this part of code, and we will store this link in a separate place later. So at that point of time, we will have much easier to change these things. But for now, let's just come here and change this link. Just add the .html part. Let's just save this file. Again, I'm going to send the request with new account, because right now we don't have the way to create different, or we don't have the way to generate new tokens. So we need to do this. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to first of all check inside my database. I have new user with verified false. I have these two tokens. Let's come inside our email. Click on this link, and thanks for joining us. Your email is verified. And then if you try to reload this unauthorized request, that's fine. Let's come here inside our database, refresh this. There will be only one token for the previous one. Let's come all the way down to our database users, and verified is true for this brand new user. Now the next thing that we want to do is, as you can see, this user is not verified. And if we click on the link that we got inside our database, we are going to see that this page is not valid or something like this, right? Cannot get verified. So for that, we are going to write one more route from where our users can generate the same kind of a token if they need to.